G'day guys, Tim here from Beat the Reset with my two army generals. On this side, I've got the Baron of Bitcoin from Stormrake. What he doesn't know, Bitcoin you could ride on the back of a postage stamp. And on this side, I've got the Samurai of Silver, all the way surviving, of course, back from Darwin. The man himself to talk about gold, silver, platinum, the markets, and so on. Gentlemen, how are we?
Oh, fantastic as always, Timmy. Yourself?
Oh, always good. How could you be anything but, Sammy?
Feeling electric, as some might say. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. We're stealing each other's lives. I mean, you're not bullish enough.
I was about to say that, Timmy.
Or you could say make
good choices.
Yeah. Do we feel like, okay, let's start there. Do we feel like people are making good choices at the moment?
Oh, look, the BTR community are, buying up gold, silver, and Bitcoin and platinum at record pace. So they're making great choices. But the average Australian, hopping further into debt to buy overvalued real estate or, pump money into the share market, probably not making the best choices that they could make, I would say.
What do you reckon, Bish?
I'm going to have to mirror Sam's sentiments. The BTR family is making incredibly good choices right now, and I'm so proud of them, to be honest with you. I had record purchase levels from the BTR family during the last dip we had seen. Now they've received the reward up 30% in 1 month. So kudos to you guys. The general public, the general population, I would have to agree with Sam, is completely unaware. I mean, the Republicans in the Senate in the United States have pushed forward a bill to raise the debt ceiling by $4 trillion.
That's nothing.
That's nothing, mate.
That's drop in the ocean.
Sports $4 trillion between friends.
It's not, print it up, mate. It's nothing.
Didn't Ben Bernanke lose that in 2009? I mean, they don't know what happened to it.
It doesn't need to know what happened to it, mate. It's gone. It's not coming back. That's all we need to worry about. Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah, move on.
Yeah, I mean, really, the world, not just the US. The US is just the creme de la creme, the top of the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg. But they've got two choices: either austerity, which means tax cuts, government cuts, everything gets ripped out of its guts, which is incredibly unpopular, will lead towards multiple revolutions and the end of the Western civilization as we know it. The other course of action is far less detrimental to society, but it is like it's like a poison, right? Rather than it being a swift death that austerity would provide, it would be like a slow, withering death. So, which is the other option? $4 trillion increase in debt ceiling would take the US government debt to close to $42 trillion.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing, right? And so what they're willing to do is sacrifice the US dollar on the altar of the US empire. And in that sense, that's when you get the large reset that you've been talking about for a long time, which is a reset of the debt. You hyperinflate it away. The US dollar collapses. They issue a new sort of US dollar. I'm thinking in the US because they've completely killed the rhetoric around central bank digital currency, whereas the euros are heading towards that direction. The United States is heading towards a stable coin backed new form of US dollar. And that's when you're going to see the purchase prices of things go up 10x, and your Bitcoin goes to $1 million overnight. Your gold goes to 30,000 overnight. Silver goes to $500 overnight. It's a very quick thing. It's suddenly it's slowly then suddenly, and that's what I'm positioning my portfolio for.
Sammy, what do you reckon about all that?
Oh, got to back Fisher up absolutely on that one, guys. Raising the debt ceiling, it keeps happening every time that we approach that ceiling. So, we need to raise it, we raise it again, we keep going. Oh, we need to raise it, we raise it again. So this is just a non-stop, on repeat kind of scenario where they just keep going. And to be honest, I can completely understand why. What are they going to do? Stop at a certain level of debt? Stop printing currency? Guys, if you had the money printer and you could print currency out of thin air and lend it to other people with interest, would you stop? It's the incentives are just not there to stop, right? The incentives are there for us to keep barreling down this road at 100 miles an hour and pick up speed as well. And that's exactly what we've been doing. We've been adding debt at a record pace. The government deficit grows, not shrinks, even though we've got Doge coming in and Elon and Trump are going to save the day and bring the government back into a surplus. I mean, guys, if
Trump for president. Oh, no, he is president.
Anyway, but guys, if you truly believe that the US government is going to run a surplus, sorry, you've missed it. Look at that. Look at those figures. If you truly think that the US government is going to somehow turn a $2 trillion deficit into a surplus, you do not understand government, you do not understand money, and you need to do some more research and give Bisha and myself a call and reposition your portfolio.
Guys, this is the more important number that I want you guys to check out. The interest on the debt is $1 trillion. The interest alone.
Yep.
So we're not even talking about putting a dent into the $37 trillion of current debt that they have. They're looking to increase that by $4 trillion, taking it to $41 trillion. Right? The interest alone is $1 trillion. Right?
Crazy.
So, and every basis point that it increases on the US 10-year yield, right? This is a very high macroeconomic thing. So stay with me. Every basis point that it increases, it's another $10 billion in interest that they have to pay on the 10-year yield. When they issue government bonds, that's the government promising you that they're going to pay you back with interest in the future. So what they're going to do is they're going to print an unholy amount of currency, an unholy amount of US dollars, buy up as much government bonds as they possibly can, most likely the Federal Reserve, which is the buyer of last resort, which will bring down the interest rates on 10-year yields, making it much more affordable for the government to continue its financing operations. And in that scenario, I cannot stress to you guys how quickly Bitcoin will get to $1 million. You are not bullish enough. If you knew what was coming down the pipeline, you'd be selling everything, the second car, the second wife, whatever you can get your hands on, you'd be selling it so you can get access to more cash and pile it into Bitcoin, gold, and silver. That's the bottom line.
Well, big question is, why would you have two wives, Bish? Wouldn't that be that'd be a bit of
Twice the fun.
Well, look, I lived in the Middle East. You can have up to 4 over there.
Oh, look, I am Arab, so it comes
there
with
you
the
go.
territory.
Do you reckon more of them makes it more fun?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We digress. Moving on.
Anyway,
So it's funny how I put debt and wives in the same sentence there. Anyway, over to you, Sammy. Get us out of it.
So look, what I wanted to add to what Bishop was saying there, look, he's absolutely right, guys. Absolutely right. Is we are going into hyperinflation, and the debt is the reason why. The US government is over 130% of its GDP in national debt. Now, there's been research done in the past that shows that when a country goes past that 110 mark, hyperinflation follows. So why? You look back at the last time we had inflation as bad as it is today, the 1970s. How did they stop that from leading into a full hyperinflation? In 1980, Paul Volcker, the head of the Federal Reserve, raised interest rates to 22%. 22%. Now, this is why I say we're going into hyperinflation this time, is because they can't do that this time. Everything that Bishop was saying about increasing interest rates and therefore increasing the interest that the US government pays on its debt, we are so deep in debt, we can't do a Paul Volcker this time. We can't raise rates to 22%. If we do, it blows the whole system up. They can't afford interest on their debt. Bang, system collapse, system over. So that's why we're going into hyperinflation. That's why this time is different. Is because of the debt. Is because the debt is beyond what we can pay back. 36 trillion, and we're adding 2 trillion to that every year. That's going the wrong direction, guys. We are never, ever going to pay that debt back. And when holders of US government debt realize that these bonds that they hold are garbage, then they might go and try and sell them. And when they all try and sell them at once, who's going to buy them? The US Federal Reserve. And what are they going to buy them with? Dollars they print out of thin air. And what's that printing out of thin air going to lead to? Hyperinflation. So that's what we're talking about today. Monetizing that debt, monetizing $36 trillion in debt. How do you do that? You print dollars out of thin air. What does that printing lead to? Hyperinflation. And that is why, guys, that is why if you understand the incentives of our system, if you understand how the system works and where we're headed, you need to be selling your second wife, as Bishop said.
I'll give it to you guys in another way, right? Global M2 currency supply has exploded. This is not, Sam and I and Tim are not talking about some sort of obscure event that's going to happen in the future. It is happening as we speak right now. Guys, shh. Can you hear it? It's the freaking printer going at max velocity right now. And so this is why I say Bitcoin will be at 150K by July. It is pumping right now. The euro is printing. The Federal Reserve is printing. RBA printing. Anywhere. The China. Oh my God. China is printing. China, right? Is printing like no tomorrow, guys. You have to accept that the writing is on the wall. I mean, you couple that, and I mean, I would love to get your buy-in from this, Tim, is that we saw Spain and Portugal have a blackout, and then not even 72 hours later, they came out and said, if you wish to withdraw more than 3,000 euros, you have to give 24 hours notice to your local bank branch, lest you face imprisonment and €150,000 fine. Please explain that to me. Please.
It's a bail-in.
Oh,
It's the bail-ins of 1933 in a different format. They're basically telling you don't touch your dollars in the bank, leave them there, because I'll tell you why they're doing it. I'll tell you why they're doing it. They want to nationalize the funds. They don't want people running on the commercial banks, because you remember what they announced recently. They wanted to nationalize funds. What does that do? It triggers panic in the market. What does panic in the market do? You run to your commercial bank, you get the dollars out. So the first thing they say to you is, okay, number one, we're going to nationalize the funds. Causes panic. Number two, don't try to take your funds out, because if you do, you'll get hit with €150,000 fine. Over to you, Sam.
And some jail time, Timmy.
And some jail time.
Look, that's where we're at, guys. You know, we've toured the country recently with the theme being the government disrespecting your property rights. That was the entire theme of our latest tour.
Yes.
Was the government disrespecting your property rights. So when people say that, oh, we're a bunch of conspiracy theorists and all of this, guys, the government is announcing that you have to give them notice to withdraw your own cash. That sounds crazy. Now, who's crazier? The government saying you got to withdraw, you got to give them notice to withdraw your cash. Otherwise, you go to jail, guys. To jail.
Can you
behind bars.
Can you imagine the judge? Imagine the judge.
This is your tax dollars, by the way. You've been heavily taxed on it, right?
So they've already taken their cut.
They've already taken their cut, and then it's been deposited into your Spanish bank account.
Yep.
And now, if you wish to withdraw more than €3,000, you have to ask for permission. Let me guys tell you something. If you have to ask for permission, it's not yours.
Yep.
Right? Simply put. So this is why Tim says you don't own your real estate. Because if you wanted to build a gazebo in your backyard, got to ask for permission. You want to cut in a pool into your backyard because summer's going to be away a few months away, then you're going to have to ask for permission. You want to be able to add an extension, whether you build out or build up, you're going to have to ask for permission. That property is not yours.
Yep. I'll build on that. You know, there's a lot of discussions around titles and fee simple titles and this title and that title. And guys, what is a title? It's a little piece of paper with some writing from your government saying that they're going to respect your property rights. Do you understand how silly it is to care about that stuff, to put any weight on it at all? Do you trust your government or not? Yes? I'll go buy real estate. No? What does a title matter? Oh, the government says they're going to protect it for you. That's not worth the paper it's written on. Why obsess over promises from your government? Oh, but I've got my promise in physical. I have my physical title. Oh, do you? Oh, that's great. Oh, so you trust your government now? I don't trust my government. Well, why do you care about this fee simple title then?
I mean, whilst they hold their physical titles, the government holds physical guns and comes in and says, my property.
Well, they also have a constitution that says they can take it.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. I
So
mean,
you're signing up to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, you can take it if you need it.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. And
Oh, cool, we need it. So
guys,
you signed it.
we're talking about constitutions. In the US Constitution, it says that central banking is illegal and all debts, private and public, must be paid in physical gold and silver. And then here we have the Federal Reserve that prints Federal Reserve notes out of thin air, and we use those as US dollars. Guys, I think people put way too much importance on written law and don't understand the importance of human nature.
Yeah.
Guys, do not put too much importance on a piece of paper with government writing on it at all, in full stop.
Do you know what I find interesting? I think what you said is so good, because human nature says if you've got a friend that you trust and they lie to you, do you trust that person after that?
No.
So if you've got a government that you trust and they lie to you,
yeah.
Why are we different with our government than we would be with our own personal friend?
Yep. Oh, they lied to me this time, but they're going to be honest in the future. Why? Who says
Did
that?
the Victorian state government come out and say they lied about the whole lockdown thing?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
well, they made up the reasons or whatever it was. The curfew, the make-up.
People's lives were destroyed in that.
Yeah.
People got thrown to the ground. There was a guy at here in
Cracked
Luna
in the
Street.
skull.
Well,
Yeah.
he apparently died.
Yeah.
You know, but he died as a result of his stance on this. And we find out after the fact
Yeah.
that the government just tells us they lied. So the question is, do we trust these guys? Should we trust these guys?
Guys, it's just so simple. Like, don't trust anyone. Like, this is something that, as a Bitcoiner, I always say all the time. Don't trust, verify, right? Independently verify what I'm saying. Independently verify what the government is saying. Don't trust anyone. Don't take anything on a trust assumption basis. There is no reason to trust. Zero reason to trust. All you need to do is get out there, buy Bitcoin, gold, and silver, take possession of your gold, silver, Put your Bitcoin in your self-custody. Become a sovereign individual. Become free. It's so simple. It's so freaking simple.
Do you know what I was reading the other day? You can actually recognize a conspiracy theorist because they always wear glasses. And also have.
Wait, hang on. I'm a normie and I trust my government.
Put your glasses back on. We're running out of conspiracy theories, guys. I mean, we haven't got any left now.
I was going to say I need some new ones because my old ones came true.
Why don't we speak about Tartaria? Or that's off limits for today's conversation.
Well, nothing's off limits in that conversation.
Keep that for the Patreon.
Yeah, we keep that for the Patreon channel. We don't want to go full to stadium. Let's just take it one conspiracy theory at a time.
You got to feed them little bit by little bit.
That's right.
But that's it, guys. Is that broadly speaking in the world, there are two types of people: those who trust their media, government, and banks, and those who don't. But the funny thing that I've found is that there are a lot of people in that second group who don't trust their media, government, or bank, and then keep their life savings in a bank account. You can't make this stuff up.
Do you know what I loved? I also loved, there was somebody on the channel last night that said Bitcoin was created by the CIA. It was created by this. And I said to them, but have a look at your US dollar. It's got a pyramid with an all-seeing eye on it. And you're telling me my Bitcoin is satanic.
The thing is that about who created it, where it came from, like it's great to entertain, but Bitcoin is a decentralized asset. There's hundreds of thousands of nodes spread across the entire planet, which is keeping the consensus mechanisms and keeping the network true and pure. So that way we can validate transactions without a centralized authority. I mean, nobody can control the Bitcoin currency at all by any means. It does not get controlled whatsoever. That is super important to realize, is that Bitcoin is an independent network, right? So yeah, you could yourself spin up a node from home and decide how much Bitcoin. You can download the entire Bitcoin blockchain for yourself on your laptop and independently verify the state of play. And that's how easy it is, right? And that's super important to recognize, that Bitcoin is a sovereign asset. Doesn't matter what anybody says. People have opinions like they have you-know-whats at the rear end, right? Disregard all of it because it's full of shit. And all you have to do is focus on the value, focus on the money. Bitcoin's up 30% in the last month for a reason. It's trading at 104,000 US. It touched 106,000 just recently.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, right. just shy of, or 105, 800 or something. Yep. And so here's what's going to happen. By July, which is only 6 weeks away, Bitcoin will hit 150,000 because they've printed an unholy amount of currency, US dollars, euros, Aussie dollars, in the last 6 months. Bitcoin is going to play catch up. Gold and silver are going to play catch up. And all you have to do is literally buy and hold one of the best assets on the planet and let Stormrake issue you a Stormrake MasterCard. It's coming down the pipeline. You're going to be able to tap and go wherever you want, to be able to spend as you see fit. You hold gold and silver, hold gold. This is very important. You hold your gold and silver, you hold your Bitcoin, and you spend stablecoin or your altcoin profits whenever you like by loading up the card. It's so simple. You don't need a commercial bank account. Don't trust your bank. Hey, I'll even say this. You don't need to trust me. Hold Bitcoin in a cold storage solution and be a sovereign individual. It's super easy.
I want to build on what Bisha was saying there about who to listen to and who not to listen to. I mean, obviously, us three are going to stand up and say, listen to us. But it's not just because we're who we are. It's because of what we say and the fact that what we say works. I mean, for the last 2-3 years, we've been telling you buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Anybody who's listened has profited immensely from that knowledge. Now, there are people out there who will say, oh, gold is going to zero. Oh, Bitcoin is going to zero. If you listen to them, try and calculate how much money you would have missed out on making if you'd listened to them. So who do you listen to? The people that are trying to help, that put dollars in our clients' pockets, or the know-it-alls on the internet who will give you information that will lose you money. It's completely up to you who you want to listen to, completely up to you. But if you want my 2 cents, listen to people who are experts. Listen to the man in the hat who's been researching this for longer than I've been alive. Listen to the Bish Dog who knows crypto better than anybody else I know. Maybe listen to me because, I know a thing or two about gold, silver, and platinum. But at the end of the day, you need to find the people on this planet who you listen to and cut out the noise from the people who you shouldn't listen to, because like Bisha said, everyone's got an opinion, just like a you-know-what, and it's up to you as the listener, as the investor, who you listen to and who you don't. And please, guys, be super, super, super careful about who you listen to and who you don't, because if you allow bad information to get into your head and you make financial decisions based on it and you don't make good choices, you're not going to wind up with good outcomes. So please understand the importance of choosing who to trust and who not to, because this is literally life and death, guys. This is the difference between getting your wealth and family through to the other side or not.
The last thing I'll leave it on is that gold is up 22% for the year, silver is up 14% for the year, and Bitcoin is up 10% for the year as we speak. Right? Despite all the volatility, despite all of the shenanigans, despite all the Trump tariff tantrum, despite all the trade wars, despite all the actual wars, India, Pakistan, Israel, Palestine, Russia, Ukraine, despite all of that, these are the results that we've been able to deliver to our clients in the last 4 months. Right? Show me another asset that can do that for you, whilst being able to be risk off with gold and silver and risk on with myself, but all the while having zero counterparty risk and being a sovereign. Show me where you can do that.
I don't know. Coffee beans are up a fair bit.
Yeah, but they're not a store of value.
I wouldn't tell my
They're
clients to
consumable.
stack coffee beans.
They are a consumable.
They are. They're good. They're good. Coffee's good.
They're good. We turn coffee into profits.
And but you've also got to grind to get anything good out of it.
Oh,
Timmy.
I've been working on that one for a while. All right, guys. So some advice for our clients going forward for this week, Sammy. What should people be doing right
You
now?
need to be focusing on silver and platinum here. Now, silver more than platinum, given that silver is the monetary metal with 5,000 years of history as being money. So focus on silver here, but also platinum is super, super cheap here too. So gold's great. Gold will get you home, but silver is super cheap compared to gold. The gold to silver ratio today is 99 to 1. 99 ounces of silver per ounce of gold. So focus on buying silver. And if you don't have any platinum yet, make sure you pick some up, because platinum is going to absolutely rip. It generally follows silver, which follows gold. So gold runs first. We've seen that epic, beautiful run from gold. Can't bash it. Silver follows gold with a bit of a lag and outperforms it. So hop into silver now, and then platinum will follow silver as well. So focus on silver and then some platinum too.
awesome. Look, from my end, I would just say focus on Bitcoin as always. That's where the value is. It's the safest bet you can have within the cryptocurrency markets. I mean, it's going to go to 150,000. In my humble opinion, we'll see what the market says within a few months.
Well, you were right the last time in that video that we spoke about.
Yeah. Well, October 28th, Tim and I put out a video. Bitcoin was at 68,000. I said Bitcoin was going to go to 100K within 6 to 12 months. I didn't take my advice. I wasn't bullish enough. We got there within 6 weeks later. But in any case, we're here now. This is what I'm anticipating. Bitcoin's going to go to 150,000. That's going to be a 50% upside move from where we are now within the next 6 to 8 weeks. You can't get much better than that. There is risk involved. There is volatility. But in terms of cryptocurrency markets, it's the lowest risk bets that you can put on if you want to express a position within the crypto markets. Shortly after that, I'd focus on layer ones and ISO tokens. Your layer ones of choice for me personally, Ethereum, Solana, Sui, and Sonic. And my ISO tokens of choice are the three sisters, XRP, XLM, and XDC, plus Hedera. So those are my 4 favorite ISOs alongside my 4 favorite layer ones, but you only need a little bit of exposure to get a lot of upside there. And if I was to be even further frank with you, I'd recommend focusing on 1 or 2 layer ones that you prefer and 1 or 2 ISO tokens that you prefer, rather than spreading yourself too thin. Because let's say you've got $10,000 to spend and you decide to allocate, I don't know, $2,000 into Bitcoin, and then with the remaining 8 that I've suggested, you split the remaining difference amongst it, and you get around something around $1,200 a pop. Let's say one of them goes for a 20x move. That's pretty good. You've now made $20,000. Happy days. But it's not going to change your life. I don't know about you guys, but $20,000 isn't a lot of money. No. Sam's got more jewelry on than $20,000, right? Yep. So let's be honest. Now, if you were to have a more concentrated position,
and that's the jewelry you can't see.
That's right. Now let's just say you concentrate your bet and you focus on, say, Ethereum and XRP, and XRP has a 10x move or Ethereum has a 10x move, which is a lower multiple than what I had just explained before. But let's say you got $10,000 into each of them. Now you're making $100,000 as opposed to the $20,000. So you've outperformed it despite having a lower X multiple. So this is why it's so important to have high conviction, high quality bets. Less is more, particularly when it comes to the cryptocurrency space. So if you visit Sammy and pick up gold, silver, and platinum, and you come and visit me and you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP, you'll still do astonishingly well. And that's all you need. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Buy and hold these assets, get rich, baby, set and forget.
All right. That's it for me, of course. The guy in the hat and
Some closing words from you, sir. You're a handsome individual. You've got plenty to share. Your mind is like a machine. Share with
Well,
us.
I had a bit of a rant last night on
Oh,
the channel.
yes,
I think people are recovering from that today. I skewered a few people over self-managed human funds. No one was safe last night. We gave it to real estate. We gave it to, a lot of people were asking about what's the difference between, XRP and Bitcoin. A lot, actually. Why should I hold gold? Is gold going to go to zero? All that stuff. So kind of did all that last night. I want to give the poor people. I also did a Patreon where I went off like a fuck. I just want to hear from you beautiful men today.
Fair enough.
Hear your voice. People are just like, okay, give us a rest. We know where the guy in the hat's at. I just want to say I agree with everything you boys actually say.
Appreciate it.
We do love you, Timmy. You're a near and dear brother.
I love you guys exactly the same. Well, of course, we didn't do our little fist pump thing either, guys. So just before we go, I'll start. Research.
Bitcoin.
Bullion.
Aren't we meant to do the like on top of my fist?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, go.
Research.
Bitcoin.
Bullion.
Fantastic. I could do the whole thing.
Yeah, and make good choices.
All right. All right. Well, that's it for me. We'll finish on that actually. Yes. But that's it for me. Guy in the hat, of course. Baron of Bitcoin, Samurai Silver. Bish, you always say
You're not bullish enough.
Sammy, you always say.
What a time to be alive.
And I always say, look after your health, look after your wealth. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
Make
good
Choices.
Make good choices, ladies and gentlemen. See you soon.